Jeff is a very passionate person, and he loves this newspaper because I feel like he's the kind of person who never really was able to tell his opinion when he was younger. So like that now that he's the editor-in-chief of the newspaper, it's basically nothing gets past him. So he gets to approve everything that's going out, and he gets to be in charge, and he is the overall opinionator of the paper.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that something's gone awry in the pilot is like one of the worst things that's happened to him, because this is like the paper is his baby, and if it's something is like a detriment to that, then he goes berserk, which you will see in the pilot. I was just gonna say he's a fun character to play. My character is like wanting to be kind of like this man that Alex is. You know, he's like the attractive guy, and so I'm like keeping him around because he makes me look good. Sue is I have her on deck because she's the smart one. She's the one who finds like all the smart academic stories. I think that Jeff doesn't have much luck in relationships, so he likes to just be a looker. Who else is there? Oh, Bob, him and I just no.
See, it seems like that's a point of conflict, but it's almost like not direct head-on conflict.
Yeah.
That's like, because he's so eccentric and a little bit out there, it's like it looks like you guys are gonna butt heads, but then it's like it just
goes the other direction.
Yeah.
It's just one of those people that you don't want around.
What the hell are you doing?
Jeff needs Bob to help him because there's always a crisis at the newspaper, but Bob can't help anybody because he can barely help himself. So he needs Jeff to help him. So Jeff is running the newspaper and trying to help Bob. Well, he's tenured, so he's entrenched, and he's settled into a mild complacency. But he wants to be helpful, but he's so anxious, and he forgets what he's supposed to be up to as far as the school newspaper goes, and school, that he isn't a very helpful guy.
Okay.
There's nothing malicious about him.
Right.
He's really a kind guy. He's just not a helpful guy.
Just kidding. That doesn't happen. Sue is it's weird. The more that the more that we rehearse it, the more like psychotic and weird she gets. I mean, she's got a lot of she's very similar to me, which is very funny, but also not. I would say she's a little uptight and very like my way or the highway. Like it's got to be done. Strict. Like I need to see everything happening and like things getting accomplished and nobody slacking off and just do your work. Like she doesn't understand the concept of like not wanting to do work or not getting the job done. She's a great person. She's very sincere, you know. She really cares. I think the fact that she cares too much is what gets in the way of her being sociable with anybody else. It's like she puts so much focus on her job. It's like, come on, lighten up a little bit. Like that's why Candy hates her, because Candy's like, what are you doing? Like, are you serious? Like, you can't be serious. Just similar to Jeff, the way he takes his job seriously. Well, I take my job as seriously, but I have a smaller position in the newspaper, so it's like, okay, Sue. But she's funny. I love to play her. Mm-hmm. She's so great. You know, I mean, she lives life like this. It's okay, right? It's okay. I got it. I got it under control. Don't worry. And then I'm just so uptight. There's a bunch of. I think the main thing is Sue needs some loving. Okay. But she's afraid. She doesn't want it because she's like, I'm independent and I can do it all on my own. I don't need anybody. But I think she has a secret crush on somebody who works in the paper.
Interesting.
But I think she does, and she will not admit it to anybody and herself. She won't even tell herself. She'll just like gets butterflies whenever she sees him or whatever. But she just denies it. And I think it'd be really funny to see Sue like fall in love with someone and just be a complete fool and really just step out of her comfort zone.
Like putting it into a college environment and making the issues relevant to that, and like I think people will enjoy like relating to it. And well, Candy and I are still getting to know each other, but she's pretty feisty, and I think she's not like, she's usually bored and like not interested most of the time, but I don't think that's her as a person. I think she just has specific things that she really throws herself into, which is like the fashion design major, and she knows what she wants. So like this is kind of like the only way it's kind of like a stepping stone. So she's doing it because of the fashion aspect of it, but everything else she's just kind of like, oh, okay, I don't really care about this, like, and like she's not really there to make friends necessarily, and she kind of thinks everyone's a little bit eccentric, so she's just kind of there. But I think she's fun, and I don't want to make her completely hateable, so I'm hoping to incorporate some, likable qualities and not just be like the typical like Valley girl, like Sue's very like wants everything to be perfect, and she's very dedicated with everything she does, and like with Candy it's like she's still a dedicated person, but with what on her own time and her own clock and what she wants to do, and like everything else is like whatever, everyone's stupid. Like I think it's funny because they're like polar opposites, and so it's kind of funny just to see how that clashes and like what we can find and discover through that. But no, I don't know where it could go. I don't know, either they'll become like best friends randomly, or it could just escalate and get super ridiculous, their rivalry.
Hasit, he's foreign, but he's like kind of westernizing as a sense, but given the fact that he is foreign, he doesn't fully grasp a lot of the things that are going on around him, and he bases his own reactions off the reactions of other people. The only thing that he will never pass up is women, and just like anything erotic, really. So fun stuff like that. So you see, it's a horn dog. He's not completely aware of what he should and should not do in American culture, and so just see where that goes, like what he does, thinking that it's okay or socially acceptable here, as opposed to, I guess it was Sri Lanka.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and so just random.
As far as we know, it's Sri Lanka.
As far as we know, just undiscernible country in Asia. Yeah, so I just want to see where that could go, and I think that would be pretty cool. I don't really see Hasit as being a one girl type of guy, but it would.
So
I'd like to
he's
see
the James Bond of the newspaper staff, right? The four
James
people.
Bond. Yeah, I'd say he's more of like the Jackie Chan. Hasit's a good character though. I like him a lot. He's I just want to, somewhere down the line, I just want to make him like totally crazy.
No, you can't call me out on this. He's supposed to be Jeff's and Hasit's friend. I can see him being an asshole. I can see Alex being an asshole, kind of like.
Okay.
But I mean,
Interesting.
either being an asshole or being egocentric, but not thinking that he's egocentric. Maybe he has a problem with his self-image. He gets self-conscious for one of the episodes. He has to deal with that. He's good friends with Jeff, so that might be weird when I think Jeff will push it a little too far one of these days, and so that there's going to be that conflict of what constitutes a friend and stuff like that. Hasit seems to look up to Alex a little bit because he comes up to him and says all this. Maybe Hasit asks him, what should I do to get Debbie? And then Alex gives him his advice, which is always flawed. I mean, advice usually in any series is somewhat flawed, and you get to see that character, Hasit, take his advice and fail, and then Hasit find his own path to telling Debbie whatever he tells her, and then Debbie accepting that or rejecting it, whichever way it goes.
I'm Chelsea, and I know they allow them to look in the camera, so that's what was my first, like, oh, it's okay if I look at the camera, like, it's fine, I won't be in trouble. She's coming from, unlike the other characters in the script, she's the one that has seen the least, and we know probably the least about, and I'm sure with more episodes, we get to know that character much more and flush her out a lot. So as of now, it's still very much my own, like I can I can make anything up that I want, which is really cool. But she's a hardworking student and just individual in general, and really strives to go and try new things. And she's very smart. She reads a lot, and so being the satire writer that she really wants to go out for that and try her hand at that and see if it's something that she will really be able to stick in and latch onto. So that's, there's still so much that needs to be figured out, but I think for now, I've seen her as this she's a hardworking but fun, kind of goofy but down to earth. She's not too smart where it's like Sue, where she's very smart and works very hard and is kind of OCD and oriented, just always going at it. She's not that either. She's kind of a nice combination of the two. I think she's a little more relaxed, yet she works real hard and tries to have some fun as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
I think she's a fun person. There's so much that we still have yet to see of her. I think, being the first person that she meets and sees and gets to talk to, I think there's gonna be something there, whether it's him trying to force it upon her or if she actually kind of finds him charming. And I think as of now she finds him charming and just like this little adorable foreign guy who can't really, he tries to talk and make jokes and she just laughs along with him because she thinks it's funny and cute. So we'll see. But I think as of now she's intrigued by him and likes him. We were talking about it, the girls and I, and I also came up with the idea that maybe there would be some drama where there was rivalry once between Sue and Candy. Now this new girl comes in and they both have to team up to
against you.
go against the new girl. If she's getting all the attention from a seat in the other guys, then then they have to power team and put aside their differences to take out the new girl. That was something I could definitely see happening. It would be fun. Then there's this little catfight kind of rivalry.